Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. IG Elephant Man _ podcast, Facebook / Elephant Man Podcast, and on YouTube as well. Man, I hope this don't start doing this. Blessings. Shabbat shalom to everybody. Man, my computer, it got a mind of its own sometimes, man. Sometimes it's cool, and sometimes it's just all over the place. Shout out to Sister Shonda at large. She had a little program earlier today, said we got to talk. Shout out to Pastor Kelly. Shout out to Teyu. Shout out to Yakoba. Shout out to Sister E. And it's Big Red. And everybody that was in the chat, man, we had a good time. We were just chopping it up. I mean, stuff is happening so fast, man. I mean, I'm in the middle of teaching and trying to study for one thing, and then another thing come up, man. All kind of stuff always coming up, man. This is very, very interesting, though. Very, very interesting. First we went from Ye. Now I guess we're on the Kyrie again. And it seemed like he got a victory if you think about it, because he didn't take the jab. He lost some bread. He lost some revenue. And now all of this other stuff is coming out. The different things are coming out as far as the side effects, the deaths, all kind of stuff coming out now. And he stood his ground. So they mad at that brother. They ain't that tripping off of that brother right there. Jason Canfor from Baltimore in the building. Shalom. Blessings to you. Rachel S. Always a pleasure. Blessings to you. Miss November 68, blessings to you. Abby Cole, blessings to you, always. Yes. So like, subscribe, share. Karis Copeland in the building. Yo, you need to go and check out Karis Copeland's brother Karis's page. It's very awesome. Covenant Awakenings in the morning. It gets me going, man. Gets me going in the morning. I'll be getting ready for work, and you be on there. And then sometimes you get on there real early, because I'll be like, dang, it's the replay? It's 6:30. How's it a replay? So sometimes you must get on early. But blessings to you, Brother Karis. Judean Warrior, blessings to you. All right. So I got all of these different things going on, but I'm going to play this videos real quick. Man, you cannot stop the awakening, man. You cannot start the awakening. I'm gonna play this video real quick. Very crazy. Well, it's interesting though. Let's just check it out real quick. What brother had to say right here. Play it real quick. Make sure you subscribe, share. And they also every once in a while unsubscribe one or two little subscribers. So make sure you check your subscription status, because sometimes they unsubscribe it for whatever reason. I don't know. All right, here we go.
Using all of his business connections, apparently Kyrie Irving saw that and thought, I could use some of that in my life. This is the owner of the team that Kyrie plays for. I'm disappointed that Kyrie appears to support a film based on a book full of anti-Semitic disinformation. I want to sit down and make sure he understands this is hurtful to all of us. And as a man of faith, it is wrong to promote hate based on race, ethnicity, or religion. This is bigger than basketball. And I think this second line is important. It makes me think that he might actually get removed if he keeps it up. This is not his first rodeo with controversy, to say the least. So what did he do? He posted this, no text, but to this movie, okay? On Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's available. You can watch it. And what happens in this movie? Well, it seems to be mostly steeped in Black Hebrew Israelite type content, which is something Kanye West has been steeping himself into. Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center describes these claims as the movement generally coalesces around the notion that Black people are the real descendants of ancient Israelites, with more extreme factions claiming that Black people have been robbed of their identity as being God's chosen people. A way that I see a lot of people describe it is it ends up essentially being, for many of the believers, a Black supremacy movement. Now, in the movie itself that was linked, the movie promotes the idea of Jewish slave ships, a whole bunch of other anti-Semitic content, such as that racism against black people was started by Jewish texts, and that Jewish people are working with Satan to deceive the world. It is exactly what you would expect from basically white supremacy text changing the color of the skin, which is why a lot of people refer to these people as black supremacists. You'll also find it seems really steeped, a lot of it mixes into a lot of flat earth stuff for some reason. When I looked into flat earth content, a lot of this mixed in. Now, he did make another statement after this. To my tribe, be still and know I am all the sacred names of God. Don't just read this, affirm it right now. Say it through your heart. I am all the sacred names of God. Your turn. I am Yahweh, Jehovah, Kyrie, Jah, Elohim, and all other names, one soul. Yeah, I get the feeling he's not going to back down on this one, and we're probably going to see photos, give it a week, 2 weeks, of him sitting with Kanye West together in person.
All right. That's one of 3 videos, man. Black supremacy, anti-Semitic disinformation. It's just, where do you begin, man? Black supremacy, anti-Semitic disinformation. Fair use. Do not take my show down. Let's put that up here real quick. Fair use. Fair use. Under the Section 107 Copyright Act 1976, fair use for the purpose such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, and scholarship and research. Fair use. Don't take it down. All right? Not yet, at least. Man, chat, what y'all think, man? It's getting crazy around here, man. But I'm going to show some things though. I am. I'm gonna show 2 more things, and then I'm gonna ask y'all some questions. And something else I've just found out in the middle of doing this. Now we had True Hoops TV with Gerard Hector. They was kind of upset with him. But let's check out this True Hoops TV, and they was all against it. Of course, they got to be against it. But check it out.
Before a start to their season, and now there's more drama surrounding the team and their star point guard Kyrie Irving. On Thursday, Irving took to Twitter and Instagram to promote a movie called Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America.
Hebrews.
There's been an uproar in response to Irving's tweet, including a Rolling Stone article that points out that the film has been widely considered to be anti-Semitic. NBA writer for True Hoop, Gerard Hector, joins me now to discuss the reaction to Irving's post. Gerard, how's it going, man?
I'm good. I wish I was talking about something other than this nonsense that is Kyrie Irving, but here we are.
Here we are talking about nonsense surrounding Kyrie Irving again. We are doing this again. But Gerard, these posts were made by Kyrie, who's a noted free thinker, and Nets owner Joe Tsai took to Twitter to issue a statement on Friday saying that he was, quote, disappointed in Kyrie's support of the film. So what was your reaction to these posts from Kyrie?
It's Kyrie doing Kyrie type things yet again. You mentioned that the team is 1-4, right? They have basketball issues that they need to focus on, but they can't because Kyrie Irving has to do what he normally does. And Dexter, you know me, I'm not a religious person, but there's something that came to mind when I saw this latest thing with Kyrie, and it's the axiom or the phrase, to whom much is given, much is required. And then, I think Spider-Man popularized the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. I think those are 2 very apropos things to think about here in this situation. And it talks largely about our problem in society when we deal with uber famous people that are super talented in one thing. When someone is uber famous and super talented in a particular thing, like Kyrie Irving, and has a platform, that fame and that power and that celebrity that we as a society commodify and give them creates this level of invincibility and this belief within a lot of these individuals that they are good at all things and they can speak to all things. Kyrie has spoken about this in the past, this idea of being the voice for the voiceless, which we all laughed at because that's ridiculous. He is not equipped to be or do any of these things that he is trying to do. The problem is that he thinks he's equipped to do those things. And this is where the danger comes because there's no check and balance in the way to stop him from promoting dangerous theories and putting, in this case, promoting something that puts out hate speech out into the world.
You talked about checks and balances here, Gerard. Do you think that there will be any punishment against Kyrie from the Nets or the NBA here? Or will we see companies with ties to the Nets and the league pull corporate sponsorships?
I mean, I think, in the age that we live in, I think, yes, there's an opportunity for companies to cut ties with Kyrie. But companies are always going to do what's in the best interest of their bottom line, right? If partnering with Kyrie still brings in dollars, it's going to be tough. Now, we saw what Adidas did with Kanye West, and, they kind of did that kicking and screaming, right? Because Yeezy was bringing in a lot of revenue to that company. So we'll see. And I think the NBA will likely put out hand out some kind of fine. I think the Nets may do something as well. But this is a much, much larger issue, Dexter. And again, it's about how we as a society commodify and treat celebrity and people like Kyrie Irving.
I think when you're talking about the we, many of us, and we put us in this as well too, thought with this being a contract year for Kyrie, that the point guard would be focused on basketball and on his best behavior. So how do these posts impact his future with the Brooklyn Nets?
I've said this before to you privately. If you are a GM or president of basketball operations, how in any possible conceivable way could you give this dude or consider giving this dude any kind of contract extension? This is a contract year, as you mentioned. He is supposed to be on his best behavior right now. And to be fair, he is playing well on the floor. But he can't even do that without creating controversy off the floor, right? It's like and if you are a team, and look, this is sports, and in the grand scheme of the world, it's not that big of a deal, right? In terms of real world issues. However, if you're an organization and you're about the business of competing to win championships, you don't need these kinds of distractions off the court. So I can't imagine any team in good conscience being like, yeah, sign me up for 5 years at Supermax money for that. That's what I want.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to see. And it's interesting with Joe Tsai's comments on Twitter and what we'll see in a reaction from the Brooklyn.
Wow. It ain't funny, man. It ain't funny. I don't know why I'm on here laughing, but I'm just like, he is not equipped. That's like almost like shut up and dribble. You have no opinion. Your job is to dribble the basketball and win games. He got these dangerous theories, and now they're saying he's supposed to be on his best behavior because this is his contract season. What is Kyrie doing? What is Kyrie doing? Is he being on his best behavior? He didn't make any statement. He just showed the video, showed the H2N, and it traced back to Brother Ron Dalton. Shout out to Brother Ron Dalton and the Hebrew to Negro series. And now it's dangerous theories and everything, right? So I don't know. He might get some yeah, man. They might come for his contracts, man. And look, he didn't even say nothing. Like, yeah, he said something. But Kyrie didn't say nothing. He didn't say anything, right? And so blessings, shalom to Kimberly J. Blessings to Jadine Warrior. Yeah, I'm glad you called it live. Blessings to Ninja Firewolf. Natalie Focus on y'all. Blessings. Those who came in. Blessings to Dale J. Blessings to you, family. Yeah. Blessings. So, man, I don't know. They said, is Kyrie going to get in trouble? Is he going to get a beat down for saying this stuff? Oh, Carriage, that's a good point, man. That's a good point. It isn't always dangerous for black folks to think. Remember, it was dangerous for us to read. Yeah, man, to read, to think, to question. You're so right on the money with that. Scott Garrett, blessings, shalom, shalom to you. Shalom to you. Sheila Rochelle, blessings to you. So I want to show this other thing. It's very, very interesting. I had to pull up the articles from Rolling Stones and the ESPN because this just happened and people is mad. People is mad. I don't know. What happened to freedom of speech? I guess freedom of speech only worked with some people. Let's go to ESPN and see what they said. So you know those two news reporters right there was angry. So let's see. ESPN, fresh hot off the press. ESPN, Nets condemn Kyrie Irving's promotion of anti-Semitic film. New York Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai issued a statement Friday condemning guard Kyrie Irving's decision to promote an anti-Semitic film and book on his social media accounts. I'm disappointed that Kyrie appears to support a film on books of anti-Semitic disinformation. Ooh, anti-Semitic disinformation. Tsai tweeted, I want to sit down and make sure he understands this is hurtful to all of us. And as a man of faith, it is wrong to promote hate based on race, ethnicity, or religion. So that was his tweet right there. Okay. On Saturday, Kyrie tweeted that he is not anti-Semitic and he did not intend to disrespect any religion. I am an omnis. I meant no disrespect to anyone's religious beliefs. The anti-Semitic label that is being pushed on me is not justified, and it does not reflect the reality of truth I live every day. I embrace and want to learn from all walks of life and religion. And this is his Twitter hella. Now, one thing is that NBA also issued a statement Saturday Saturday night decrying hate speech. Hate speech of any kind is unacceptable and run counter to the NBA's value of equality, inclusion, and respect. The league said, we believe we all have a role to play to ensure such words or ideas, including anti-Semitic ones, are challenged, refuted, and we will continue to work with all members of the NBA community to ensure that everyone understands the impact of their words and their actions. Okay? So that's ooh-wee. All right, so I'm gonna show the Rolling Stones one. Matter of fact, let me put that in the chat for you guys so you can see it. If you want to read that ESPN one, copy, paste in the chat. That is ESPN. And I'm about to show the Rolling Stones one real quick. All right, so let's, man, it's ruffled a few feathers, man. Crazy. All right, so let's go. Done with that. Okay. Well, I don't want to, come on, man, my stuff's sticking. Okay. Trying to go to the Rolling Stones one, man. Computer acting cray-cray. All right, so let's go stop screen. Present screen. I wish they would have you. We can have two tabs on StreamYard. All right, Rolling Stones. I think more articles are going to come, right? Oh, Rolling Stones, they got their little weed up there. And they add, Kyrie Irving boosts anti-Semitic moving, peddling Jewish slave ship. The video is based on vehemenously anti-Semitic books, which assert many famous high-ranking Jews have admitted to worshiping Satan or Lucifer. Ooh-wee. Hours before, fair use. Don't take my video down. I'm just reading. This y'all stuff. Y'all printed all this, right? Hours before Brooklyn Nets lost on Thursday, noted free thinker and basketball player Kyrie Irving took to Twitter to boost a movie and book, Hebrews to Negroes, stuffed with anti-Semitic tropes. The 2018 film was directed by Ron Dalton Jr. They threw names out there. And based upon his 2015 books in the same name. A description of the film states that it uncovers the true identities of the children of Israel, while a similar one of the book reads, since the European and Arab slave traders stepped into foot in Africa, blacks have been told lies about their heritage. Both suggest Hebrews and Negroes espouse ideas in line with more extremist factions of black Hebrew Israelites, oh boy, which have a long history of misogyny, homophobia, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and especially anti-Semitism. The Black Hebrew Israelite movement is fairly broad comparison organization by the Anti-Defamation League, operating semi-independently. The movement generally courses around the notion that black people are the real descendants of the ancient Israelites, with more extreme factions claiming that black people have been robbed of the identity of being God's chosen people. And I'm going to put that in the chat too so y'all can read that one. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Oh, okay, copy, paste it, put it in the chat. What'd you say, Karen? They hate the Bible. They hate the Most High. They hate the Bible. They hate the Most High. Man, crazy. Fair use. Ernest Higgs in the building. The more they scream, man, hey, don't let me put no link out to put you up in here. The more they scream, the more people learn the truth. Let them continue to scream because the Most High has them falling into their own trap. Ooh, that's truth to power right there, man. It doesn't make people turn away. It doesn't make people turn away. It makes people say, what is this? Right? It wasn't on the radar. Now all of a sudden, when you start taking punishing people, they said, will Kyrie get his punishment for this? Or take his endorsements. When you start doing that, folk that weren't even thinking about that, they're gonna say, man, well, what's up with it? And they're gonna go to these different sites. They're gonna go looking for the material to see what's up. Why is they tripping off of that? Right? What's going on? That it's gonna raise curiosity. Like I said earlier on Sister Shonda's show, if you say, don't go through that door, why? Just don't go through that door. Don't go behind it. It's gonna make people. They're gonna focus on the door, right? It's gonna be on their radar now. So I want to go, but only thing I want to go to Kyrie's page. It's kind of weird though, man. So again, I don't think that he is the voice of it, but when people have these large platforms, they ride them on cages and make more noise. Truth is disinformation. Yo, for real. For safety and security and fairness, they're gonna say, man, look, you're not gonna be able to do all that. You're not gonna be. They're gonna take the truth out, right? If you read that 1984, I wish that brother was still alive. Orson Welles was still alive. Well, not that Orson Welles. God, I forgot his name. Is it Orson Welles who wrote 1984? Anyway, put his name in the chat. He talking about all that kind of stuff, man. He talking about all that kind of stuff. And it's crazy, man. Truth is going to be hate speech. Truth is going to be disinformation. That is crazy, though. That is too crazy. I want to get this. I want to go to a site though, because it's always some weirdness, to it, and they're gonna probably call him crazy again. But he do got some interesting things on his stuff. All right, so I want to be able to. This is his site, Hella. I'm not saying that right, Hella. Hella, right? Hela or Hella. Am I saying it right? Anyway, so this is his site. So by no means necessary am I saying that he is the voice of the community. For this simple fact, okay, he got the peace sign, he got the coexist, so it's not just all So we can't get it twisted and we can't be fooled, okay? Again, y'all can use anybody. He's using people with major platforms, right? I'm not saying but he's hitting around. He's pushing some buttons. I am never alone. God and the ancestors are always nearby. I am. Then you got Yahweh right there. 4.5 million followers. Woo. Followed by the Hebrew Israelite. Okay. To my tribe, to be still and know that I am all sacred names of God. Just don't just read, affirm it right now. Say it through your heart. I am all the sacred names of God. Your turn. I am Yahweh, Jehovah, Kyrie, Jah, Elohim, and all the other names of one soul. That's the new age. That's new age, ladies and gentlemen. That's one world religion. So I don't know if this is controlled opposition or what, but that's not Yah. Yah, I told y'all Yahweh don't coexist, and I'm gonna make some folk mad. Yahweh don't coexist. Yahweh don't share. I'm sorry. He just don't. Right? And that's gonna be another hate speech too when they try to get all together. Can we all? They're gonna make the Rodney King statement. Can we all just get along and come together in one world religion, or your religion is not better than mine, and all this different stuff. And there's gonna be a group of hard-headed folk that's saying, no, Yahweh don't share, and I don't share him. You could all is included. You could come in, right? He's no respected person. But he don't share his stage with the other lower gods, other lower Elohims, right? The light is being, right? So this is the stuff that's on his page. Very crazy. But this is the post that he put right here. He grows to Negro, wake up black and Mary. I still be still and know I am Ma'at. See that? Be still and know that I am God. Truth coming in light. So he got some stuff like that in there, right? But he put this on there and he turned it up. He turned it all the way up, right? Crazy with it, crazy with it, crazy with it. Yeah, Yah does not share his glory. And I try to tell somebody that, and they was kind of like semi-offended, like, well, you don't know. There's many roads and many ways. I said, I feel you. I understand, but no. He don't. You know what I'm saying? For all those who are married on this chat, you don't share your husband, you don't share your wife, right? You don't share your spouse, right? They come home talking about somebody else. So great. No, I don't share. No, you're mine, and I don't share. Especially when I'm paying the bills and we in the same household. You come home and talk about another cat, another guy, and talking about how great he is. Nah, that's terrible. Yep. Dagon bowed down and the Most High broken into pieces. So I'm thinking that might be GLC in the building. I can say it too, chairs, because she said it's like chairs. Blessings to you, sis. But I think it's that's the curveball in it. The people who standing up and standing out, that mixture is what's the problem's gonna be. That's you know what I mean. So those who don't understand, they in between and they really don't understand, and they like to go. They like Kyrie, and when they start taking his endorsements and stuff, and we gonna stand with him, and he starts saying that kind of crazy rhetoric, and Cat's gonna be like, man, well, we stand with him, and that's what I say. It might be controlled opposition, man. I don't know. Time will tell. It'll all come out. But I want to be able to share this last. Well, let's go to the page. Let's go to the Hebrews to Negro page. Shout out to Ron Dalton. They said that he's been getting his phone been blowing up, and CNN has reached out to him as of yet. CNN is trying to get in contact with him. Like, whoa. Okay, so let's see. Present. Share the screen. Tab. Let's go right on to the site. Go right on to the site. All right. So this is H2NTV.com, right? And you can subscribe. You can sign in. A platform will showcase the material we have been waiting for, right? And so he got all of this restoration of a people, from Hebrews to Negroes. Start watching. right? Listen for the soul. He got all his different things on this site. So support this brother. Oh, available on multiple devices: Fire TV and Roku. Oh, snap! My man's got it jumping off. Okay, let's see. Browse. Click on browse. And see what I'm doing right now. A lot of folk gonna be doing because they want to know what's with this Hebrews to Negro stuff, right? He got all of the different kinds of messages on there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put this in the chat too. Copy. Let's see. Let's put it right now. Free publicity never hurts. Right, man. Right. Let's see. Let's see. City of Zion, Africa edition, the Bantu people, no monkey on our backs, Bantu pastor in South Africa. He has different interviews. The Congo, right? Ditching Babylon. So this is very, it got a lot of different. The movie Joseph come out. You can rent it for $9.99. The Curses of Israel documentary part 2. Buy it for $39 or rent it for $10.99. I might just start buying this stuff to support brother. But anyway, yeah, so that's it, man. It's very good. Ron needs to have his attorney with him when he talks to CNN. Yeah, he probably gonna have all his ducks in a row. He probably gonna have all of that together when he talk to them. He probably ain't gonna just do all that. But I mean, that's making an opinion to call his information dangerous theories and misinformation. That's it. I never heard it strung together like that. Anti-Semitic disinformation. Wow, that's heavy. Wow, that's heavy, man. Man, oh man. I don't know what's going on with. I don't know what's going on with that. What y'all think is going on? Again, my only concern is the New Age stuff. This is why we need the Ruach and we need discernment. You know, could you go to his page? Because when they start messing with him, the people that's down with Kyrie, they're gonna band with him. You know what I mean? He said, I'm in this. You know, I am this, I am that. I am all the different guys wrapped in one. I don't know what that. No, Yahweh don't do all that. All right, so that's the only thing I got with it. And also too, you know, not just that, Hebrew sphere as well. Present. Let me see. Present. Share the screen. I got my Hebrew sphere. Shout out to Brother Dante. Hebrew sphere too. Right? Somebody put the post. Somebody put it right on there. Ron Dalton, he even talking about it too. So Hebrew sphere. Right? I got to get back on there and put some of my new stuff on there. All right. So blessings. Oh, wait a minute. Got all this stuff open up. That's why I hate multiple tabs. So Hebrew sphere. All right. So I'm gonna put that link in the chat. You know, we promote one another. HebrewSphere.com. If you don't have an account, it's set up like Facebook. I suggest that you go run and get an account. All right, Hebrew Sphere. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard of Hebrew Sphere put a 1 in the chat if you got an account in Hebrew Sphere. Also, Hebrew Connect, right? Pastor Brother Dwayne Harris. Moray Dwayne Harris. Let's see, present. Let's see. Oh, come on. So he got HebrewConnect.com, HebrewConnect.tv. See, it's like Facebook, right? I can put a post in there. HebrewConnect.com, HebrewConnect.tv, and HebrewConnect.org. But it got different things in there, things that you can like and share. So let's get this platform up too, HebrewConnect.com. You know, while we at it, let's get that going too. Put a 2 in the chat if you got a HebrewConnect.tv. .com account. We need to get on these platforms, you know. And it's very interesting how they be like, okay, well, we going. This is the importance of having the autonomy. I ain't just talking about separate just to be separate, but you got to bring something to the table. We got to be able to have our own stuff, bring it to the table, right? Like I've been every time I go up a couple of go up a few of my subscribers. They always shave off 2 here and 3 there. I'm like, man. Soon as I go up, they not shave it off 2 or 3, and then it could be some people might be unsubscribing as well. I mean, it is what it is. The Most High is going to do His work, and those who are supposed to be here chopping it up with me, gonna chop it up with me. And I thank you all for coming in and chopping it up with me, because you could be doing anything, right? You could be sitting, chilling out, drinking your grape Kool-Aid, reading the word. You're coming here chopping it up with me. So thank you guys. Thank you for got a new subscriber. Appreciate it. Blessings to you guys. Okay. So before I close out, I want to see if anybody want to come in. No trolls, I shut it out. But I'm seeing that number of family in here. So if anybody want to come in, just let me know. I'll put a link in the chat. Let me see. And we can chop it up, right? Fair use, family channel, But I think the more that, why is it doing that? Every so often I have to resub to Teo. Oh, okay. Every so often I have to resub to Teo or T3 and me. It's annoying. Yes, it's wild, man. Just check it every once in a while, because it's about 4 of them that I was like, man, I wonder what they ain't doing no more videos. And then I'll be seeing when I go to a different account, I'll be seeing their videos and that, and I'll be like, wow, it's crazy, man. So they, and I don't even know their information. So that's misinformation, right? Or stopping us from trying to assemble to get information. What did put in the chat? What did J. Hoover say? What's the biggest thing that he feared the most? And I remember when I was young and I heard that, and I was like, man, this ain't no J. Hoover quote. What did he say? The biggest thing that he's feared the most. What did he say? Let me see. I'm going to check the chat. Do anybody ever know what J. Edgar Hoover said back in the day? Biggest thing he feared the most. Oh, I was good. Listen to Carrie Ann. Let's see. We'll go and listen to Carrie Ann. She put up 2 different videos I might find interesting. Okay. Black God. Now, that ain't what he said. He said, the one thing that I fear the most, you can even Google it. One thing that I fear the most. Okay, let's see what we got coming in. What's going on? What? No, why they ain't coming in? Okay, wait a minute. Man, my computer be acting weak. Add to the stream. What's going on, my brother?
Shalom. Salama Siemi Shalom. I missed Sister Shonda's broadcast earlier, and I said, wow. So greetings, More DB, for Elephant Man podcast. This is something, it's the frequency. I think a lot of people have to understand the frequency, right? So this is the tie-in, and I was thinking about this. I didn't even get a chance to go on Friday, but I was thinking about this, and I thought, you understand, last year was CRT. About this time, remember? Last year was CRT. Yeah. Then what happened? Russia got into Ukraine. This year we're not going to just talk about CRT. We're going to talk about our Hebrew heritage. And see, now you understand there's going to be some sort of a backlash that always happens, right? But the problem is, I look at this, and this is just me talking. This is just my juxtaposition and things of that nature, right? How long do we have in this current environment. You get what I'm saying? How long do we really have? Because I think a lot of us, we get kind of just caught up in, in the emotionalization, right? Well, what they're trying to do, they're emotionalizing. Well, I feel it's hate. I feel I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like that. Okay, then tell me what you don't like that's not factually accurate. Because you understand, this is why we have been given up to a foolish nation. What do fools do? You see this literally in Proverbs, right? You can read Proverbs chapter 6. My dad used to always tell me, and my grandmother used to always tell me, it's like, look, seek wisdom. I always read Proverbs chapter 6. Proverbs. Like they'll tell me Proverbs chapter 6, 7, 8, right? Because why? You always hear out a matter before something is established. Because why? Because you're going to be a fool if you just emotionalize and say, well, I'm going to have a knee-jerk reaction. How many times have we had knee-jerk reactions and it ends up costing us? Either financially, emotionally, relationship-wise. Well, here's the thing. We have been given to a foolish nation for a reason. Because why? Because fools can't understand what you're saying. So now they're going to have a foolish reaction because fools always emotionalize. Welcome to the United States. Welcome to Babylon. And now the foolishness was, well, you better get this, or because it can do what, right? Prevent transmission of the cookie. And then the Pfizer person comes into the European Parliament 2 weeks ago and says it doesn't do that. So you lied to us. Well, we didn't really lie. We just promised something. No, that's a lie.
And now we're full of the fluid, and now we can't reverse it.
and now I'm looking. I don't even know the veracity of these stories, but don't quote me on this. But there was an article I was trying to read, and it said, "Folks in the UK." This is the UK. I didn't. Some articles I get, like that kind of like, yeah. Some of those articles. Okay, why am I wasting my time with this? And but. And I just try to see, like, if they source somebody, if they source like a professional reference or something like that, and I don't ever like go too deep in the sourcing and stuff like that, because I'm not doing an academic journal or anything. But it was, I guess, a speculation or a speculative article that folks that have received multiple boosters are now going blind. Or there's having a deficit in their vision. You get what I'm saying?
Man.
So not only do you have that with cardiac events, which is now true, which has now been verified in the great state of Florida. Listen, I don't care what you say. Florida now have all the good old boys. But you know what these good old boys will do? They'll look out for their health. Okay? Because you want to know why? They're going to say, I am not going to be on my airboat in the glades or in the pond somewhere and fall over and get eaten by an alligator.
Man. Yeah. I got to ask you another question about that. That's good. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. So my wife said this is very interesting, that they're saying that how this anti-Semitic disinformation, it can be hateful or harmful because it's going to stir up animosity and anger, just like they did to the Third Reich with the Hitler with Hitler. So they're trying to say that same rising is going to happen again, and they're going to get persecuted all again. Do you even feel or believe that they're in a position to get hit up like they got in Germany?
Let's just be truthful. No, they own the country. They own the, and that's and it's not to cause any type of well, that's not the case. No, they do. So that's never going to be right. The problem is that you now have a class of, let me just keep this as plain as possible. You now have a class of white folks that are no longer really happy with the direction of where this country is at, which then causes, right, the discomfort levels that they're facing, right? And so what we're doing is we're saying, look, I don't care about what you all want to have as your narrative. I'm just telling you that we're the people. This place is getting judged. You can get as mad about it as you want. You can cry about it as you want. But let me just tell you, when Russia goes into the hard kill for Europe, and then when the U.S. doesn't do anything, because let me tell you, the U.S. won't do anything. That's just facts. Then guess what? They're coming here. Don't think that 4 or 5,000 mile lake is going to separate anything, especially when they have already said that we don't know where a large majority of their submarines are at.
Wow.
Which some of them are even right here. So do you understand how close we are? Like, people think that, well, it's just about Kanye, it's just about Kyrie. No, it's about the distraction point. Because here's the thing. Shout out to brother Asaph Ben Judah, brother George. He had posted this. UK is 9 days away from running out of heating oil.
Wow, 9 days. Wow.
9 days away. This is on his post. And I would probably bring that. I'll probably have that more with a grain of salt, because he's there in the UK. He's there in that atmosphere, in that environment. I mean, we just got told that earlier this week that we're 25 days, 23 days of not having or running out of diesel.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So you got to think about this, family. When the resources are running low, do you all know what happens in this country? We always fight. The problem is, if you've noticed, and like I said it before, and then it's funny because I'm looking at all these commercials. I'll flip the ESPN, and I'll just kind of look at some things, and every other commercial, there's a U.S. Army commercial that they're really trying to push. And then I saw an Army commercial for black folks. One was a young black man, and one was a young black woman. Oh, we got to get the technology. Remember what I said? Black folks don't want to care. We are in a position where we are using technology more than ever, and we're not doing it in the manner of, well, I just want to do it for shaking booty videos and stuff like that. We're actually having careers out of that, especially within our youth. And our youth are actually getting more and more educated with getting certifications that they're starting like right out of college at pretty good salaries, like $25 an hour, and still doing college courses. Oh, that's unheard of. When I graduated around 2000, man. But here's the reality of it. Guess what it does? No one has that will anymore to say, well, you want to know what? Man, my country is racist. Why do I want to fight for a racist behind country? You see what they're doing to that? You see that thing with the Army sergeant? Well, that thing went viral. Why do I want to do that? That went viral all over Black social media, right? And you want to know what that thing?
Oh, when he got pepper sprayed?
No, not when they got. Well, that was one. That was the officer in Virginia. But the other one, it was on the African diaspora, and some other folks had talked about this. It was an Army sergeant. She was overseas, and she said, she felt that that her life was threatened. Like, her life was threatened. And she came on out and made a TikTok on that, and that thing went viral. Okay, it went viral. But you want to know what that does? That always And here's the thing: a lot of our people, especially our older generation, they know when they served in the military, right? They knew how it was. They understood how it was. They understood what it really meant, to see the good old boys in action. They understood that. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now for those, they had, like, when I went in, my uncle had dealt with it, and he was getting ready to retire, and he said, "No, I don't want to do another duty on ship because I don't want to deal with other all them folks." Years later, I started to understand what he was saying, you know, and then that put an end to my career with all the other stuff. I said, I don't want to deal with these folks anymore because it was just too much. And now you see it's even more blatant and more obvious because your recruiting numbers are down, which means black folks are saying, don't do it. Just go ahead. You don't even have to worry about student loans anymore. Isn't that, you see what I'm saying? Student loans have been suspended for paying back. So people are like, look, get yourself this cert real quick, get this, get that, and then get yourself a job and then go get yourself enrolled without doing what? Without having to come out of your pocket, without having to be drowned in student loans. So we've been trying to teaching them, right? Because when you hear Herschel Walker and say, hey, well, you can lose an arm or a leg and stuff like that, but we need you. Who would ever get recruited like the same type of recruitment from what was that movie back in the day, Starship Trooper? We need some
Oh
more.
yeah, Star Trooper. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We need some more meat for the Federation. Like, nah, man. I would have turned around. I would have turned around from that recruiter's office like, nope, nope. But that is the scenario that's being drawn, right? First was CRT, then you, because Europe is now going crazy because why? All them sanctions dumb backfired. They backfired on us too. Now, here's the thing: it's a hardening process, right? The Most High knows that there are legal prescriptions, right? He gave us the law, right? There's a law to this. Even though we fell from it, the law's still in play. It's still in action. So there's still a legal justification for this. So now legally, when their hearts have been hardened to the point of their destruction, they see their destruction, but they don't understand the way out. Correct? They see that, but it's like, well, the way out is something that they tell me there in, CBN. The way out is something that they tell me on TBN or Daystar. And it's like, no, that's not the way out. That's actually furthering your destruction. We're explaining the way out because why? We would have healed Babylon, but why? She refused to be healed. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe what you're saying. I don't subscribe to that. You don't have to subscribe to anything. But I'm going to tell you because here's the thing. I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. So when I'm through with the season that I'm in, because here's the thing, once we're done, there's not going to be, the need for this. Well, we're the people now. We're just going to sit around. No, there's another, era of time that we're going to be going into, right? There's going to be another work. You see what I'm saying? So there's going to be another disposition of work because there's going to be the lights being turned off. We're just telling people, look, the shop's about to close on out. Right? We're just sweeping things on up. The lights are about to be turned off. I'm telling you, when I leave and I turn these lights out, I'm never coming back. And this place is going to be set on fire. It is scheduled for demolition. Wow. But y'all want to sit here and be like, well, there's no demolition coming when the notice has been put on the door. And we're explaining it to them, to somebody that's not able to read, that's not able to see, and that are really slow because their hearts have been damaged from myocarditis and all the other self-inflicted wounds.
Man, that's heavy right there, man. Woo! I think about this too. You know how some kind of way how everything all road leads to blaming us for it. My only thing is about the backlash. You know what I mean? Will we get where we get we in the store and then we get accused and blamed for it, and you know what I mean? What they fretting would that happen to us? Because they can shut it down, they can cancel culture, they can just shut your program off, they can take your endorsement, they can. We don't have that, you know what I'm saying? So we totally dependent upon the Most High. We don't have that same luxury, you know what I mean? And so, but you just can't just say it's just disinformation. Go read it. They don't want you to go read it and look at it, but it's too late. It's too late. But what
Well,
you
and
gonna say?
that's the whole thing. That's the blessing, right? That we have really as like small channels and things of that nature. We don't have to worry about endorsements, which is actually a good thing because, you know, think about that. How the Most High kind of shields you from not having to count on that particular man, because we already know who controls most of the industry. We know how this money flows. So we are not really in those markets. We're not in those industries, which is a blessing to begin with. Because you want to know why? Because your message is tied to who funds you. Plain and
That's
simple.
true. That's true. Man. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
You don't hear
a lot of
I
strings attached.
Bingo.
A lot of strings. Man.
Bingo. So look, I say what I want to say within reason. I always try to provide some sort of clarification, because I don't want to have my channel shut down again and stuff like that. But I already did this. Look, I demonetized myself on Google, because you want to know why? The Holy Spirit was already telling me. Ruach HaKodesh was already telling me, look, just shut the stuff down. Shut down the thing. The only thing I brought back on up was my Cash App. That was literally it. And now I'm kind of glad that I did that, because what's happening with PayPal and everything else. They brought that back again.
That's crazy.
While everybody was talking about Ye and Kyrie, PayPal then brought back that $2,500 little fine or whatever. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. But the more I look at it, it's like, well, if I think about it too, if we really think about this, is the Most High starting to wean us off, right? How is he starting to wean us off? Because I'm going to tell you, it's hard when you're seeing the images of the Mississippi River. I was talking to my son about this. I said, did you see what's going on in the Mississippi River? He's like, no. I said, that sucker is drying up. They had to shut down the barges, because the barges, you have to have so much clearance. You have to have so much in terms of the stuff being dredged. It all pours on out. And guess what? Nothing was flowing. So nothing was flowing upwards with motor, and nothing was flowing downwards. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So now all of these things are happening. Well, let me put Ye in your face. Let me put Kyrie in your face. Oh, well, let's spark up anti-Semitism. Oops. Well, next thing you know, then it's going to be on mainstream media. Oh, I didn't know that Russia had invaded UK. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I didn't know this. How come nobody told me that? Yeah, this is the mighty Mississippi. You know how many times I done crossed the Mississippi traveling into the Midwest?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I thought about that too. They're gonna let us know. It ain't gonna be no breaking news. This just in, or head for the hills. This is gonna be like they're gonna just go the underground city and just leave, and then you ain't gonna know until somebody at your door. So we got to be able to.
I mean, you get what I'm saying? It's like, look, the government done purchased. They said $300 million worth of anti-radiation medicine.
Man,
why would somebody disclose that? Number one, it's being disclosed, right? Okay, so you have to understand how disclosures work, how press releases work. Look, if I'm doing this, you better get the memo, right? You better get the hint, the foot stomp, the knock. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of our folks are like, or not, but I mean the society, I'm going to say the society, they're looking at like, well, if anything were to happen, the government would tell us, right? No, no,
Man.
because why? Because they're not equipped to handle martial law. What people would do, and if you saw this, if you understood this, what people would do is the top tiers of government would bunker down, and then guess what? Everyone else would be a free for all, and then that free for all would go crazy, and then when people die on out, they'd reestablish order with the food that they didn't do what they stowed away. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
or here's the thing. It's not we think most people in this society think that it is so unconscionable for America to get invaded. They think it's unconscionable. Well, here's the problem. Like we had said earlier, what Teo had shown earlier, what all these articles had you had in Venezuela back in what? In August, you had what? Those training exercises, and people are going crazy over that. But who is involved in the training exercises? Well, there is one notable country that sits only 90 miles south of Florida, situated near the Gulf of Mexico in the Caribbean, and that country's name is Cuba, and Russia is reestablishing a base in Cuba.
Mm.
But we're talking about gay. We're talking about Kanye.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, this
Man.
is on the news. And the crazy thing is they put it in the news. They're putting this in the news, but let me just distract you. And I guess the Real Houses of Atlanta, they're no longer doing the trick. I don't know how. So yeah, oh yeah, Charles West, the nuclear fallout public service announcement in New York. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. The bug out bag's being handed out in Denver. It's like, what? You want a bug out bag for what? You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. We gotta just come to ourselves as a nation, because it's like, man, well, we cool, everybody. Oh no. People are no. We gotta stand up, be clothing in our right mind, and be ready to move when the Most High says move. Not out of fear, but when he says move, it's time to move, man. And ain't gonna be no sitting duck. Ain't gonna go down with the ship like in that movie Titanic. The band just kept playing. It went down with the ship. It's like, no, I'm gonna try to grab a raft. No, the rafts are for the rich, the elite. You better find a piece of wood, but the Most High will take care of us, man.
You want to know why there wasn't brothers right there and trying to scatter on the sea? Because you want to know what? As soon as we don't hit the boom, nah, man. Hey, get to them rafts right now. We out. They were already on the raft. They navigating by the stars.
Right.
Sorry, man. Leonardo DiCaprio. No, we out of here. Ain't no turn into an ice cube if you want to. No, thank you.
Man, that's hilarious. Hey, man. So I'm gonna put I'm gonna put his in the chat again. Your page. Covenant Awakenings. Blessings to you, brother. Covenant Awakenings. Look it up if you're not already subscribed. I think all this ain't nothing but family in here. They probably already subscribed. So any last word before we get out of here, man? This is interesting, though. This is interesting. Now, Ryan getting calls from CNN, and man, I always think about that when stuff like that happen, man. What are y'all doing in the World Forum? What are y'all doing? What is Klaus Schwab coming up with? What's going on the other side of the world? What's going on? That's what I always think about.
Well, here's the thing. They always, I told you, they always look at our communities. Don't think that they're not here. Don't think that they're not in the chat right now or listening to the discussion. They're here. See, the problem is that, look, they know what the scriptures say. There will be no fault found in Judah. There will be no look. All we're doing is just quoting the truth. Because here's the thing, and I wanted to say this, and then because this was a major quote I had. In a world of confusion, and now this is a pinnacle of societal confusion, right? This is what they built this thing up to this day. to have all sorts of confusions, right? Confusion about your sexual identity, confusion about, right, what goes on in the sky, confusions about science, as science is God, confusion about what's up and what's down, what's good and what's evil. So now the perfect culmination of the lies and illusions are here. So when you see the truth, you can't even understand the truth because you've been lied to for so long that it just goes over your head. This is what they built because this is the culmination. So I'm going to tell you, when the things collapse, it didn't collapse. You know how the Soviet Union collapsed? They didn't tell anybody it collapsed. You realize that people thought that the government was literally functioning for a good 6 weeks after everybody had cleared out. They took their money and they went back to whatever country they were going to. Man. And then they finally realized there was nobody at the top running the show. They were acting like people were still there.
Wow, that's terrible, man.
Yeah.
That's terrible, man. That's some Juneteenth stuff. You got to work. Mm-hmm. It's free. Supposed to be free, and don't let them know you're free. You still work. Hey, y'all know y'all free? No. Yeah, we've been free a while ago. Oh, what? Man, That's crazy though, man. But man, thank you for coming on and joining and chiming in. It's always a serious pleasure, man. And revelation, and just so blessed, man. And man, we're gonna get on the pot of here, man. This is crazy. My main concern is the backlash. You know what I mean? And it's like we be the punching bag, and then everybody else get the laws, and you know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, now. We do the suffering part. Now, like y'all do the suffering part, and we do the legislative part. We get the bills passed for us. Like, nah, man.
What was that? Fahrenheit 451. Remember that? Fahrenheit? Yeah. Don't read the. Well, you know what it was. It was don't read the Bible, right? Don't read the Word, and we have based off of it takes what they always try to do. They always try to find the Judas within our community. Hey, I'm putting you on here. You could do this, you could do that. Some of them you could tell have been broken in. Let's just kind of say that. With mannerisms. We know the mannerisms. Mm-hmm. That's just how it goes. That's literally how it goes. It's the same 400-year playbook that they've had since we got off of the ship in 1619. The same one. But now the thing is, a lot, even folks that are not awakened to understanding who we are, biblically speaking, but they're now asking these questions. What is it that they're meaning? What is it that they're talking about?
Absolutely.
That's scary. That's what's dangerous. It's not, if they define, this is what they'll say is it's dangerous. Okay, yeah, that's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. What's dangerous, boss? Boss, what's dangerous? Well, the tree line's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? They do the hopping bob skit, and they're like, so what's dangerous? Oh, well, it's just dangerous because here's the thing. It's a systematic and purposeful dumbing down of a people that really aren't dumb by nature. We're really not dumb. And you've seen this as a teacher. We are actually very, very smart because what do we always do? We always ask questions about everything. If we ask and we go amongst ourselves, man, you understand it's harder to get an agreement with ourselves because why? Because we examine ourselves more than we examine anybody who is not our color. Man. It's true.
That's true.
It's true. Because we say, okay, what's your aim? What's your angle? What's this? What's that? And we have an examination. We have a cross-examination. They go through and they deliberate like they're a judge and jury. And it's like, okay, well, please, you had a line about 4 or 5 sentences ago. You know what I'm saying? Like we have our own little the court recordings in our brains. It's like, oh wait, hold up, play that one back. 3 or 4 sentences ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We do that amongst our own people just by just if they just ask for $20 to help them on out. What do you need help for? What do you need? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But
exactly.
for other folks will just take my word for it. Well, what does that mean? See, that's where we have been socially engineered for hundreds of years for that. So now the scary thing is, well, we taught these Negroes how to read. These Negroes are now thinking for themselves. Didn't we burn their communities down? Didn't we separate them from their families? Didn't we run them off of their land? Didn't we hide their investment accounts that they had with us in the late 1890s, early 1900s? Didn't we do all these things? But now they're trying to figure this on out. Now they're asking questions. They're using Google. I thought we just had Google for pornography for them. That's literally what they're thinking. That's
Right.
literally it. And it's like, no, because here's the thing: when the Spirit of the Most High came on us, that that caused so much of a panic amongst them, and you could tell they had panic even before we realized that there was a panic. You saw that in like early 2010, 2011, 12 timeframe. This is why you literally had Trump. It was a panic, but it wasn't a panic the way that we thought it was. We couldn't interpret it because for them, that was literally, Zechariah chapter 9, verse 13, where the Gentiles are seeing, Judah and Ephraim, right, starting to question things, right? I mean, look, when they're telling France they're going to defend themselves, when the Malians or Mali are telling France, don't come into this country, we're going to defend ourselves, and they reach out to Russia. When you see that with Burkina Faso and other African nations, when you see that with Haiti saying, don't even try it. And they're asking other countries to do what? To step in their stead, particularly China and Russia. That's a problem. That's a problem that they didn't think that they would ever have to encounter. Because, right, they were the Millennium Kingdom, right? How dare it? How dare us slaves? You get what I'm saying? How dare us that never had a portion? So when you're seeing Esdras and when you're seeing Baruch and all these and Wisdom of Solomon, a people that were, just downtrodden. Ezekiel 38. How is it that this people, right? How is it that this people we have been able to now come together all of a sudden? I mean, think about it. This is sudden departure from reality for the last 5 years. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's
And even
amazing.
in the last 3 years, right? Well, I want everything to go back to normal. The more they say that they want things to go back to normal, have you realized that everything is now systematically falling apart for them?
Man.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're telling them, look, you're not gonna ever go back. But here's the backlash we're going to have. The backlash is actually going to be a good thing because here's the thing. You think that we're going to be the only ones looking at our backlash? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And
Man.
that's why I said, look, it's what does the scripture say? Look, he who endures to the end, right?
Yeah.
We have to endure because here's the thing. As much as people say, well, they're not doing anything on the continent, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. You got to remember who was in charge when they weren't doing anything. Who are they kicking out now that was preventing them from doing anything?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest with ourselves and let's be honest with these questions. They couldn't do anything because you want to know why? Because the Most High wasn't allowing them to do it. Because why? Because Judah and Israel were what? Oppressed together. Even though we're oppressed here, outside of our land, they were oppressed on what? The borders of their land. We were all oppressed together at the same time. Our awakening caused what? A worldwide disruption,
It
which
sure did.
literally is causing things to be out of whack with the what? The Gentile powers. We just didn't see that bubbling to the forefront until now that we see other nations now taking an actual stand that's literally mainstream. You see it.
Yeah.
You see it. So now we're looking at this. This is the backlash. They know it's a worldwide backlash. If we're saying something, they get it worldwide because why? They can't respond with any type of truth. Because why? What's the truth? Well, everybody still holds on to the word. Remember, they're in a very bad predicament because remember, it's the word that they're trying to usurp, right? It's the people that they're trying to usurp, right? I'm making myself the people, but I have none of the characteristics of their circumstance in these days.
Wow. You said a lot right there. I think too, it's real quick. The question you don't question the authority and you don't question the expert to the point that you're making. I'm in authority and or I am the expert. Like, people was asking questions when the jab came out, and they're like, what? People ask me, did you go to medical school? And I was like, well, no, but I would like to know before I put something up. Well, why would you actually, getting all, you don't question authority, you don't question the expert. You know what I mean? And that's why they hate that one person that, in the classroom and the professor wrote the book and he's up there, dissertating about it. And it's like, well, yes, Tyrone. Tyrone raised his hand. He got a question. And so it's like, well, man, I just want to get clarity on it. You know what I mean? And you don't question authority. You don't question the person in control. And we've been doing that. And that's rebellious and stubborn and not just taking it. You know what I mean? And that's one of the cons to bracing this kingdom. You've been getting a little perks. You've been getting the card. Your card, you have access to certain things, so you trust. So that wouldn't happen to me. They watch. Well, I see that happen to you guys. That'll never happen to me. Oh, yeah, it will. You can put something in your arm that's fatal too. Yes, chemtrails, you can breathe that in too. So you're not from it. But that's the naivety of, man, I'm not a part of that. No, you're a part of it too. It just ain't came down your street yet. But this made me thought about that when you was saying that. You don't question authority. You don't question who is in control. It's interesting.
Well, yeah, but who's always been the ones that's questioned everything, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they always they'll credit us with what? With starting the Civil War, right? With Christmas addicts. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But here's the thing. We do that because we're always a people that, it's good for them that we'll stand up and we'll do things on our convictions, but it's also bad for them because we'll stand up and do things on our convictions that go against their narrative, right? Mm-hmm. So, wait a second. I see what you're saying, but we're going to table that conversation for another day because we don't want to get into that. No. We need to get into it now. No. Because you understand, they know, wait a second, that we weren't prepared for this. We don't want to really respond to this. And the question is, see, they're not prepared and they don't want to respond. This is why they have to throw on out these these very shabby framed arguments of, well, I feel. Well, what does your feeling have to do with facts?
Wow.
Let's just do this from an actual, and if this was academia, right? If this was academia, you never have a dissertation like, well, I feel like I'm the people because I say so. Well, where are your facts? Right. Where are your journals? Where are your articles? Where is your scholarly research? And the problem is we have a lot of scholarly research that comes from people that look like the main ones that's saying that it hurts their feelings.
Right.
That's where that research comes from. So now they have a problem because they can't confront their research from, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Well, how come there was a flip in the 17th, 18th century? Well, that was slave trade, and we didn't think that, things would be as what? As accessible as they are now. See, the problem is Daniel chapter 12 is in full effect, right? Knowledge is coming back and forth. Knowledge is in the, I can open up a DuckDuckGo. I can open up a Google or some other, or Bing or whatever I want.
Yep.
Exactly. And let's go to town on some questions that I have and research it. And I'll come up with articles and articles and articles to do what? To support a position. Now, that position is not going to change very much until the 17th and 18th century. Because why? Because of slavery, right? He who wins does what? Tells the story.
Yep.
He who wins tells the story.
Control the narrative. Yep.
So now the question is, well, the same people that are still there in Africa, well, I can't say I can't talk about the Lemba. I can't talk about all the other tribes that, even Pastor Kelly was saying, this week, they can't talk about those tribes. They can't talk about those Israelite tribes. They can't talk about how, they as in the other community still goes over and talks to them. I mean, we know who, Kohen Hamadishi,
yeah.
but, and guess what? They always have them folks going on over there, sitting with them, doing what? Trying to, hey, if I'm an identity thief, then you got to show me what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Am I washing these pans right? Am I saying, you know what I'm saying? Am I laying up in bed correctly? Am I even stretching correctly? Tell me how I need to take a shower. Did I use the soap and water, or do I not lather?
Man, that's crazy.
You get what I'm saying? But thanks for your time. Here's a little bit of change that I made off of you. Well, I done made trillions and quadrillions and septillions or whatever, illions that's even unimaginable and unfathomable. And that's where our people are at. Where it's like, look, when your pastor's sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're gonna ask. Like I always say, don't take our word for it. Don't take Brother Karras's word for it. Never. I always say this: pray about it. Pray about it.
Amen.
Right. Let the Most High give you understanding. Let Him do it. Look, all I can do is just talk, but it's Him to change your heart. That's it.
Yeah, for real.
And this is a heart change. And you know what's going on? People don't like to go to surgery and get cut up. Nobody likes to get cut up in surgery. And this is the worst triple bypass, quadruple 400-year bypass of surgery that they ever have to go through. Because they got to get some demons retracted and pulled on out of them veins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But if it's available to you right now, and you love the Most High, and you claim the kingdom, and you want the kingdom, man, you gotta cut. You gotta get that cut, man. But if you're in denial, and man, I need to hire somebody with me to tell me my narrative over and over to so I can go to sleep. Nah, man, you hired a yes man or a yes woman to be around you. You know what I mean? See, come on, Herschel Walker and Candace Owens and all these other. No, that's not gonna change the truth, because you got people that you hired around you that you put on payroll to ease your conscience. It's still, so I still gonna come down, and I think that's what it is. The slow, it's like, oh my goodness. Then they get on the TV and everything is all right. You can just look at it in their eyes, they be like, oh my goodness, it's never been like this. It's like, yeah, it's never been like this. You know what I mean? And talking, that mocking as soon as 2019 hit, it was a mocking. 400 years, huh? Okay. And then right after that, 2020 came in, and it was just like, ooh.
Have you noticed that they weren't mocking that? Like, did you notice the mockery? Like, it turned off around 2020, 2021. They didn't mock the 400 years anymore. And then they were trying to say, well, it's a mockery. Like, they're trying to mock the second Exodus. Oh, there's a second Exodus. Yeah, I don't think so. Yada, yada, yada. And now they're literally seeing, well, what happens when food does run out here? What happens when the ground doesn't produce? You see what I'm saying? Look, when those other communities that we know and that we know of, when they start to leave en masse and they're back in their countries, and it's like, what happened? What happened to such and such a shop? What happened to such and such a restaurant? When they start shutting up en masse, have you noticed that?
Man,
people gonna be saying, have you noticed that I can't get any good curry anymore? I can't get any more good samosas.
And it rolled on out. Goodness gracious.
Where's my pad thai? I can't get the pad thai anymore. No, they don't set us shop. They said we are going back. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, well, at least if they know that's another reason for I did it. You know where to go back to.
Yeah,
I know where to go back to. Trying to have us all scatterbrained. So look, most high show us, just get us to the continent.
Yeah, that's all. Look, as long as I can start at the continent, it's like, look, that's the first step. You know, people are they're just gonna memorialize that first step from whatever they're getting off of. If they're getting off of an airplane or getting off of a gangway, if you're like on a ship or a boat, it's like that first step back in the land. That's just gonna be something that we're gonna memorialize, right? And it's just like having that understanding. I don't care if you go there. I think a lot of folks obviously won't be going back crying and asking, which way is it to Zion and things of that nature. But I just think for the reality of everything is, it's going to be like, wow, what do you do? Where do we go? And a lot of folks are going to be like, can I get an internet connection so I can check some email?
Right,
Where you at? Where you at? I am over here. So, because I mean, that's a lot of that's going to be a hard. And that's what I was saying last night with with Jacoba when we're saying how do we flee? The question is just look. The most pragmatic, simple step that we have is that when the Most High tells you to get up, stand your behind up and put your next foot forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you flee? First, you need to walk up out your door. Get out your door.
Right.
But I need to shut it and lock it. Lock it for what? Are you ever coming back to this thing? You know what I'm saying? My door is wide open. Matter of fact, I put something on in there and say, hey, if y'all want it, it's yours. Don't But people think it's that. People think it's tough. It's like it's not tough. It's not tough, because you understand. And I wanted to kind of to explain to them. You'll have diplomatic missions here. Like, I don't think people understand this. It's not going to be like, oh, well, it's just going to be free for all, right? They think it's going to look like Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? Like them last planes. No. The Most High is not going to have you just clamoring onto planes. There's going to be other countries here. Because you want to know why? I want to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. A lot of folks are going to. How do you control somebody? Just how do you control a nation? How do you control a group? Just simply speaking, how do you control folks? Through food, through water, through needs.
Man,
it's we think of it as because we have a lot. I used to go to Jordan a lot. And I used to see the little refugee camps and stuff that they had and everything else. And, they would always tell us, hey, don't go over there, don't do this, don't do that. Because what ends up happening is you have a lot of human traffickers and things of that nature. And, and they just try to make sure that they, try to limit that. But the issue was we think that it's going to be so profound. Let me tell you, when you start running out of food within 3-4 weeks, it's already over. It's already over. And what do you think these folks are going to be doing, especially if you have a passport to Ghana or Nigeria or something else like that? You're going to be getting on out of here. And remember, the AU had already said, look, the diaspora is what? The 6th region, right? The 6th region. So technically, we already have some sort of diplomatic leeway, believe it or not. It's just going to be what country or countries will be willing to take us, right? That's how it's going to go. Now, of course, the countries don't want to be, left empty-handed with, you can't be going there with just empty hands. That's why the Bible said, look, we're going to be coming out of here with what? With great substance, right? So we're going to those countries. The question is, how do we make sure that we don't get, I would say, abused or maltreated, right? As a people that's going to be going to somewhere that you don't know, right? With some wealth, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be something. There's going to be some sort of a system that's there. Hey, let's get you registered. We knew who's on the planes. We know it's all this stuff, right? There's going to be some sort of an administration. Look, because the Most High, you understand what was the very first thing that the Most High did? What was the very first thing the Most High did? He called Moses, and then as soon as he called Moses, the people, Moses told the people to do what? To show up at the mountain.
Yep.
To show up at the mountain. There was already administration. There was already something that was going on. And not everybody is going to be a Moses. Not everybody is going to have the administration. But there's going to be folks that are going to be called to say, hey, I used to do this in the government, or I used to do that in the government. Because here's the key thing is, once you flee, fleeing isn't really the hardest part. It's really not. You can take a plane or a boat. You can be in a place within a week. It's not going to take like months or years. And on top of that, I don't think people understand. You will have embassies to go to. You have embassies in most, not necessarily embassies, but you have, what do they call it? It's the consulates. That's what they call them. It's the consulates. So the consulates that you can go to, that's where they'll go. That's where they'll go. I imagine, this is just me personally thinking, I imagine that we would probably be told to go to like a consulate, or go to a consulate of a country, right, that we're planning on visiting, or we're planning on going to as like our first gate, right? That's what they'll tell you. You're go to this country, we'll establish you as this gate, and then you'll go there. If you have any type of banks or or accounts, make sure that you have them. If you have and based off of like this act or this UN order or this UN charter, make sure that you have all your paperwork together, so you'll be able to have your and they won't call it reparations. They won't call it reparations, but they'll say like your like commissary, or like a resource benefit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a reparation. It's going to be a commissary resource benefit. But see, because you got to understand.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, because you got to understand. There's actually a psychological inference when you're saying like reparation. It means that like they've lost. You get what I'm saying? They've lost. Well, I have to pay because I lost something. So the thing is, they won't be able to say that they quote unquote lost, because if you lose, and then guess what's going to happen? The people that you're going to be there with, they know that they've lost, and if they know that they've lost, then guess what? They're going to have to get up they don't have to get up out of Dodge, because guess what happens? Guess what happens when you're the loser of anything, of any conflict, and you're still in that land? Well, you're going to be literally enslaved in that land to do what? To pay back anything, as much as they want, as much as they deem necessary. And some people would be paying back for what? Hundreds of years. You saw that with Haiti. So imagine that you have, look, this is now 1,000 years. You're not going to give any. It was so bad that it's going to be 1,000 years for you all to even consider, that we're going to, that we'll let you in on this level, or you'll be, deemed as a human being, right? Because why? Because doesn't the word say that their judgment is going to be worse, right? They're going to be double.
Man,
so imagine this is all the setup for them. They don't have to talk about Kanye or Kyrie, but the setup is they're going to be doing double time. Well, we would have healed you, but why? You didn't want to talk about them. You demonized them. You did foolish comparisons without examining the whole matter. and now here you are.
Man.
You know, so there's a lot at stake. Yeah, it's dangerous. Oh, it's dangerous because they could literally be thrown off their horse at any minute, and they know that. They know that the sides have been drawn. The battle lines have been drawn. All we're doing is we're looking at everything just going into place. Now,
Mm.
I do believe that. Look, when we get up on out of here, we're going to have our wealth. I do believe that. I just believe it's going to probably be in a different form or format. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what does it say? The Gentiles are going to be doing what? Carrying our wealth, right? That's Isaiah 60, arise and shine, right? It literally says the Gentiles are going to be carrying the stuff, right? So that kind of makes me wonder, we get there and then it's divvied on out, or it's like, okay, here's the pot of money, but this is now this is for your generations. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like when we had the land divvied on out, this is for your generations. Because why? Because the land was going to be restored, right? But if the land is going to be restored, what else is going to be restored? Wealth, right?
Right.
Okay,
That's
well, I'm
good.
going to take this, work this, and have this. I'll build with this. I'll build with this community. I'll build with that. And I think that that's where we kind of we kind of overcomplicate a lot of simplicities that the Most High has already shown in the scriptures. Right? You just need to leave. Get your behind, leave. Then when you come back, and you're ready to get your check. Well, your check is going to be out there, right? It's going to be where your final destination is. Because I mean, think about it. What good is holding money when you're trying to travel? What good is that? What good is
That's a
holding
good
money when you're
point.
trying to trade? When you're trying to flee? Let me flee up on out of here with 250 pounds of gold, man.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not going to happen. Now, these other countries are going to do what? They're going to bring their wealth to us, right? The forces of the Gentiles. I truly believe that that's going to be the case. Hey, you need to get here, and we'll have that forthcoming. Why? Because we know that you're the people. We've seen what the Most High did. We saw what's going on. I believe that that's more than likely, even biblically speaking. Based off of the biblical. Now, some will have their wealth with them, right? Some will have their jewelry with them, but I believe that for a majority, that will be that's where the Gentiles will be, made to, be the be the concierge service, and people don't
Wow.
like the word. Oh, well, they're going to be doing that. Well, no, they're just going to be bringing our luggage. You ever been on a cruise where it's like, here, check your luggage here, and then they'll bring it up to your room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or they go to a hotel. Hey, check your luggage here. We'll bring your luggage. Your luggage up to your room. You know, our concierge is going to be there. Just take your ticket. If there's any issues or something, come back down, and we'll get your stuff. I believe that that's going to be the case. I believe our ticket is literally our DNA. I
Dang.
honestly believe that. Or see what the enemy uses for evil, the Most High always turns it around for our good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Let's see your birth certificate. Let's see your records. Let's see this. That's why I said, look, if you don't have your birth certificate, get it. If you don't have your social security number, get it. Get the paperwork while you can, at the time that you can. I only think we only have really a few more months, right? Don't
Man.
don't hasten, right? Get everything
Right.
together. Get all your child's birth certificates, records, things of that nature, because it just proves who you are, right? I am
Yeah.
who I am. Look, I'm coming out of the system, but now I'm in this system. Now I'm going to get into this system. Now I'm going to get into this thing that the Most High has for us.
Man.
Yeah,
Man, that's
Charles. Yeah,
powerful, man.
Charles
That's a
West.
good.
Yeah, the check
What
is
do
not in
you
the land. Yeah, it's in the land and not in Babylon. Yeah, I'm like, man, you want to? I don't know about you. I want to have the wealth brought to me, right? I want to have those hundreds of tons of gold and and silver and all precious metals bought and put in the land, that's our land. I don't want to say, well, we'll cash it based off of, what we have. You really going to trust the banks when everything's destroyed? You get what I'm saying?
Man.
They'll bounce that check in a second on you. Yeah, I got you. They'll bounce that check in a second.
Man, that's crazy, man. We just definitely got chopped up. This is, man, that's so really, really thought out, man. I didn't even think of it like that, man. We have to definitely come on here and chop it up. And, man, there's a lot of insight on that, man. So, we're about to get on up out of here, man. That was powerful, man. Thank you for joining and coming on in. And the rest of y'all, don't be shy to come in next time, man. Thank you, Brother Kerry, for jumping on in there, man. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversations dealing with elephants in the room. We are out.